Yeah, he's downsized a lot. Age has caught up with him. But it
Right.
was just that he hadn't really been at it for long enough again yet. And now look at him this year, all the way from the Detroit Pro on.
Like, who improved shockingly? I thought Andrew Jack improved like he was dramatically better at the Olympia than he's ever been.
I still think Martin beat Samson at the Olympia.
Just never had a chance to.
They just didn't put him next to him.
The classiest air guitar I've ever seen. Right? He did an air violin on his bicep as he stood up and turned.
Yeah.
He like furiously played the violin on his bicep and then hit a shot, and I just loved it. Hey everybody, welcome to It's Just Bodybuilding. I'm Big Ron Partlow, and I got Dusty Hanshaw and the producer Scott McNally. Remember to like, share, subscribe, comment, and
Ring the bell.
yes, had to get out of the way for that one, Dusty.
Oh, it was a big one. It was explosive.
Remember, IamMutant.com. Go to IamMutant.com. Get your hardcore ISO, get your Mind FK, and everyone should get on the gear. And don't forget the Big Greens.
Yes.
We love the Big Greens, the new chocolate-flavored Big Greens. Get it in ya. Code Dusty or Big Ron. And save money. And what's the most important part, Dusty?
Avoid people
Yes. Don't have to see anybody.
at all cost.
No banter. Banterless purchase through iMutant.com. Okay, Scott. Happy Wednesday for everyone watching.
Yes.
What's on the agenda today?
Dude, we have a very YouTube-friendly kind of topic today. Now, the season's not technically over yet for bodybuilding,
No.
right? Like we still have some stuff to go, and it's crazy how
Technically.
things are like still cranking in the bodybuilding world. But we kind of had a fun show lined up of kind of like a best of bodybuilders in 2025. Things like who's the most improved, who made the biggest splash, who surprised us, questions like that. I thought it would be kind of cool, give us a chance to, as
absolutely.
Victoria put it, she said, give flowers to the competitors that didn't win. Basically,
Give
is what
some
it comes.
flowers.
Or
That's the only way I would ever gotten flowers.
yeah.
Do they have flowers for 13th place?
Yeah.
That's funny. Okay. Yes.
Yes,
I'm
I
ready
like
to go.
this. Fire away.
I've got it set. I like to get the questions in front of me. Thanks for sending them over.
Yeah,
Okay,
so-
so what are we starting with?
We have
Most
first
improved
one-
bodybuilder?
Yeah, most improved bodybuilder 2025. Who made the biggest leap on stage this year?
Damn.
By the
Who
way,
made
we
the biggest
surprised
leap?
Ron with this. Like,
Yeah, no,
he
it's good.
didn't know
It'll be
about
like,
this.
how much attention am I actually paying, right?
Right?
Yeah.
Who made the
It's a
biggest
test.
leap? Well, I mean, to be like, okay, let's see what my brain comes up with right off the bat. I mean, technically to me, like, who improved shockingly? I thought Andrew Jack improved like he was dramatically better at the Olympia than he's ever been.
Yep.
But I'm trying to think of someone that went from like 11th to 3rd or something like that. Was there any of those? Can you think of anything like that?
We didn't have, but I'm not even thinking about just the Olympia. I'm thinking about all year.
Yeah, like every little show, right? That's what I mean.
Because like when I look at that, of course, and everyone's going to just think
Hutchinson?
I'm on it, but Jordan's my first
you
thought
go.
because he won both the shows he entered
Yep.
Right.
pretty convincingly.
Right.
And I think when I look at Jordan, I don't think most people, when he turned pro, saw this coming.
Right. They thought, oh, he's good. He's good. But then he went and got real.
Yeah, like when he turned pro, and he won the overall at the USA's, but I still was like, you don't look like a pro bodybuilder standing by
what, though?
yourself.
I want to throw something at you before you get too married to that idea, Dusty. On our list, we also had like the biggest breakout star of 25. So do if we put him there, does that mean you can't put him? You know what I mean?
I'm leaving him here
Okay.
because I have a different answer for that one.
Okay.
Yes. So the Jordan is my pick for that. And I do know what you mean on Andrew, but I feel like when I look at Andrew, everyone said if he does X, he's the guy. And the only thing that altered was I think a lot of people started to think he couldn't do it.
Right.
And that's when that kind of thought process slowed down. That's when Scott basically shot himself in the foot publicly. As if any of us were right on our guesses. But no, I think that Jordan is my pick for that. I think the difference is also for me with him is he did it 2 shows in a row, and he was better at the Olympia than he was for both of those shows. It's just it was a much bigger show.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Do we have anyone else that's in that realm that you guys can think of?
I mean,
That's what I mean. Like, in my mind, what sticks out is how much Andrew improved this year. So when I see the word improved, and then there's obviously I thought of Jordan as well. The second we thought of that, but yeah, I mean it was a solid year. I just went back to look at the New York Pro results because I can't remember anything other than
That's
Nick.
the problem.
yeah. You know what I mean? So what do we have? Oh yeah. Okay. Is that 2025?
Now I've got an unpopular idea.
I like your unpopular idea.
Just stir things up. If we go from Olympia 24 to Arnold 25, I could put Derek Lunsford in that spot.
Well, right, like, and then he wins the O, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it's funny
So
because
there's
like he's already an Olympia winner, so it's hard to give him
Right.
like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
When he
right.
that's
No,
because
yeah.
I thought of the same thing, like, you know, but he's already an Olympia winner. It's like someone asked me who's the best runner-up of all time, and I was going through my list, and then they're like, "What about Phil? He was a runner-up."
Yeah,
And I'm
or
like,
Jay.
well, yeah.
Well,
Or
that
Jay,
doesn't
right?
count. He
yeah,
won
like
7
I know what
after
you mean,
that.
right? I get. And Dorian was a runner-up, right? So like
Yeah,
I get what
yeah.
the guy meant, but I was sort of thinking like, you know,
Yeah, runner-ups that never took that next step.
Yeah. And to be clear, what I had said about Andrew was that he needs to step up to the plate. Otherwise, people are gonna
Give up on
stop
him.
cheering for him. Yeah, people are gonna give up on him, and I think he did that. And I it's crazy because in our listening audience, we've had a ton of people that were like, Andrew Jack should have won the Olympia. Like there were
Lots.
people passionate about Andrew this year, and I hadn't heard that before. I can only imagine what that means for him going. He's kind of in a really cool place for 2026.
Yeah. I think that's a very being like kind of lack of a better term. I mean, he didn't win the People's Champ, Hottie did, but the People's Champ, we'll say, like, you know, essentially kind of the People's Champ in a way, and the most improved and the one that people were freaked out about. That's got to be a great feeling coming out of the Olympia.
Yeah.
Like, I went to the O and I freaked everyone out and got third, you know?
Yeah. I don't care if you win at that point.
Yeah. So remember, Jay, if you win the crowd, you win the show.
Well, think about when Gunter Schlierkamp got 5th.
Yeah, that was incredible.
He was
I
the
remember being
talk
there.
of the show. No one cared who won, who got second, it was all him. I saw Joe Weider's eyes turn into dollar signs on live.
I remember being at that night show. Like, I was at that night show. That was the first Olympia I ever went to. And I was at that finals. Oh, no, that was the second Olympia. Sorry. And I was
What
at
year?
that. Well, 02, 03. What year was the one he got 5th? Was it 02 or 03?
It was 02.
So it was
I
the
think it was
first
02.
Olympia I went to, yeah.
Okay.
And I remember, like, you know, as the finals went on, everyone was freaking out for Gunter. And then the pose down came at the end of the night when they posed everyone down, and Gunter went after Ronnie.
Yeah.
And people were losing their minds. And everyone's like, well, he's not going to win because everybody saw the prejudging, right? So they knew where he couldn't be. But at the finals, everyone's like, he looks like he could win. And then people were losing their minds. And then when they announced him 5th, it was like the loudest boo I've ever heard. You know?
Which was comical because that's where he belonged. But
Yeah. But, you know, it was just because he was such a fan favorite. You know, he won the crowd, right?
for
So,
sure.
okay. What about, is the next one? Are we ready for the next one, Scott?
I think so. Yeah. Got
Biggest
biggest comeback.
story?
Yeah. Who returned strong after being counted out?
Well, Lunsford,
Yeah.
who won. He's only the second man of all time to win his Olympia back.
Yeah.
And I consider his comeback actually the Arnold.
Right.
Yeah.
Because, and I would say, and this is a separate question, I hope that's not on the list,
His
but
comeback was a whole year.
the Arnold was Derek's Arnold look was the best looking bodybuilding for the whole year
Yes.
for anybody.
Yes. So that's another one. We could chalk that up. Best look of the entire year. Derek at the Arnold.
It was incredible. Yeah,
I remember.
lights out.
I remember us talking about that. I remember Chris happened to sit in front of me. Remember Dusty? We had Chris right in front of us. And, you know, just like how Chris is. So what do you think? And he just, it's over.
Yeah. And then we saw why. And then he
came out, and we were like, oh, my God. Me and Dusty were like, he's right.
Yeah. I didn't have to see anybody else. When he came out, I was like, oh, this is done.
Yeah,
I've said
and
it
also
a few times now, that was one of the best bodybuilders I have seen in person in my entire life, and we had awesome seats to be able to just right down the middle, you know, see what he looked like. That was incredible.
And also too, like that thing that has happened to me a few times, where someone comes out and they do their thing, and then every person that comes after them, I'm like, no, like, fuck this. Like, oh, no. And you're like, he's going to win this whole fucking show. Yeah, it was incredible. So, people just like, blown away. Okay, best posing routine of the year.
Hold on. I got another vote to throw in.
Oh, another comeback.
Because I just want to try to be controversial.
I'm trying to move quick, Scott.
I know. Biggest comeback story. I'm sorry. I'm going to say it.
Bonac?
Nick Walker.
Oh.
I'm going to say it.
See, that's how funny it is, right?
Yeah, because Nick was written off, right? And I know that
amazing.
It's crazy to see how much that, like, it turned around and then it turned back around, right? Like, everybody is cheering for him.
Do you think they write him off in pencil now? And then write him back on?
Here's the thing with Nick. The reason I never thought of saying Nick is because, like, I forgot he was gone.
Yeah, but he's
that's how short.
Gone again now.
Right, that's how short memories are, and how we are now. I'm like, well, he did a bunch of shows earlier in the year, and then he did, like, it wasn't a comeback, right? Because I always thought of him as like he was there the whole time, you know. You don't think he's gone. Well, he was gone for 2 years.
Yeah. Well, he was also just written off as a terrible bodybuilder by everyone that doesn't have a brain.
Yeah. And I still think that, you know, I think Nick's going to bounce back from what happened at the Olympia and come back with a better look, and, you know,
You think he'll do the Arnold?
I think he wants to. I would.
Knowing from what he said, Pro for sure.
Last year,
my bank account would tell me to do the Arnold.
Last year, he said, like, after the Olympia, he said, I got with Kyle, and the first thing I said is, we should do the Arnold, shouldn't we? And Kyle said, no, let's hold off. Let's do New York. And he's like, oh, I really wanted to do the Arnold. My money would be on that he really wants to do the Arnold again.
Yeah. Okay. Nice.
All right.
Okay. Best posing routine of the year.
I got one.
Is there even,
is it automatically Ruffins? Or?
Yes. Yeah.
Have a guess.
Now, I can't remember who it was. Who posed to the violin music? Was it Mike or Ruffins?
I don't even remember. Mike's routine was good.
Mike's routine was great. So there was, I meant to bring this up. One of them posed, I think it was Mike or Terrence. It might have been Mike, but he posed to some music that had like a violin in it. Mm-hmm. And there was one part where he did like one of those artsy poses, like, you know, something like this. It's hard to do on camera, but something like, you know, like that type of artsy pose. But then as the music got furiously kind of intense towards the end of his routine, as he stood up from a kneeling shot, he played the violin like on his bicep. Was it Terrence who did that?
Was it Terrence
Mike?
that did that? I don't know.
I can't remember, but I loved it. It was like the classiest air guitar I've ever seen. Right? He did an air violin on his bicep as he stood up and turned. Yeah. He like furiously played the violin on his bicep and then hit a shot. And I just loved it. It was awesome.
Didn't love it enough to remember who did it, but I loved it.
No, I think it was Mike. I seem to remember Mike's arm being up and he was playing it. And I looked at Emily, and she just laughed. She's like, "I know what you're gonna say. You loved that, didn't you?
You just loved that that just made Ron feel okay about the way he is."
Yes.
You wouldn't, Scott. You would not believe the number of times like we'll be training somewhere or just standing somewhere.
I've seen it.
And I'll just say to somebody that's standing next to us that doesn't know, I'm like, "Oh, he does this all the," because I'll see their brain and I go, "Oh, he does this all the time." He doesn't even bring the other hand up. Sometimes it's just the right hands just drop down there.
Okay.
Strumming away or whatever they call it.
Yeah.
just playing his chords in the truth. That's all.
Nothing wrong with that.
3 chords in the truth. 3 chords in the truth. That's all you get.
Oh, so good. All right, what else we got?
Most shocking placement.
Most shocking placement.
Who got robbed or surprised?
Well,
everyone?
robbed
or surprised
so,
everyone.
Shocking is more to me like robbed. I don't really ever see that. Shocking to me was Samson.
Yeah, shocking was Samson. Just
And in the same sentence, robbed for me was Martin in the same show. I still think Martin beat Samson at the Olympia.
Just never had a chance to.
They just didn't put him next to him, and I don't. Thankfully, Steve cares about what I think, so I'm sure he'll alter that for next year. But this is sarcasm for anybody who doesn't catch that. But I do. I really, and it got proved a few weeks later. I think that Martin was better and Samson was better, and Martin beat him. And I'm like, yeah, well, the other versions of themselves, I think Martin would have beat him there too.
Right.
But so, yeah, Samson to me is definitely the most shocking placement because no one in their right mind had him falling further than second.
Yeah.
Or everyone in their wrong mind had him not following any lower than second. Whatever. We were all wrong is the point.
I can't use Nick again because I already used Nick. But Nick would also, with New York Pro placing, I think as far as anybody getting
that was
quote-unquote robbed, that would be probably like the show of the year, where I think as far as the audience goes, the most people I've heard say it should have been this guy. There was Andrew at the Olympia. A lot of people wanted Andrew, but then there was Nick.
Right.
What I find interesting, though, is I had Nick winning for sure. Some of it biased because I really put a lot of weight in what Ian says, and he was there.
Yeah.
And Ian is the most honest guy, I think, one of the most honest guys in the industry. Like, he would tell his best friend that he's losing a show that's close.
Right.
But then when Tyler does his breakdowns, I don't know if I'm just willing to sip the punch or what, but by the time it's over, I'm like, never mind, I was wrong.
Yeah, Tyler really can back up what he says with his, I find it pretty, it's nice, man. I can't believe they weren't doing this the whole time. It really says a lot to the people watching is why they make these decisions, Well,
I also because in a lot of those cases, he said that he actually had Nick winning, but he explained why it didn't go that way. And I thought that was awesome because it also justified a lot of people's decisions, but made it make sense on why a percentage of the higher percentage of the judges disagreed.
Yeah. And anybody who hadn't seen Tyler's take on the Olympia, if you thought Hottie should have won, then definitely watch what he has to say there. Because I thought hey, Hottie's my guy for this. I feel like Hottie should have won. But then after watching that breakdown, I can't unsee what Tyler showed me. And it makes total sense. He even said, he was like, Derek doesn't have biceps in the front double bicep. But it's not just the front double. It's not just the biceps in that shot. It's the whole physique. He also pointed out that from the side, his arm comes to life. You see a lot more, out of that side shot from Derek's arm. And it the way he explained it, after that, I was like, yep, okay, makes total sense. Yeah, I sipped the Kool-Aid after that, drank a whole cup.
That's a new shirt. Drank a whole cup.
Drank a whole cup.
That's all I was going to say. Funny. Drank a whole cup.
If I send you something, Scott, a real quick little video through text message, can you throw it up?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
You might want to verify what it is before you say yes, because
yeah, it depends what it is, Ron.
And just throw it on
I
the
feel like you
screen
trust Ron a lot more than me.
Yeah,
because you'd be like,
if Dusty,
let me review that real quick.
We're gonna have to screen this, Dusty. I'll get back to you.
I need to watch this for 1 minute, and then I'll decide if it's going on.
There, I just sent it to him. He's got to throw it up. He's got to throw it up.
Don't look at it though. Just trust him.
Okay, here we go. That's what I was talking about.
You guys ready for this?
Volume up. Volume up. See that fucking air violin? See?
Oops.
No volume though. It's okay.
You could just trust him.
Yeah, we had volume. They heard the volume.
Oh,
okay, cool. We didn't.
But yeah, when he did that, I was like, I've never seen anyone do that before. And how hard is it to do something in a posing routine that a guy like me, who's been around fucking ever, doesn't remember ever seeing it. And when you can pull something like that off, it's like just makes it interesting and memorable, you know. So
what else
Ron's
didn't
asking,
make it?
why didn't I do that? You know.
yeah,
Well, he never had the. There's no violins in Metallica.
right. Well, unless you got the S&M album.
That's a subject we can't touch. Moving forward.
Oh, Dusty thinks of S&M as a different thing than
Yeah.
Metallica's symphony album.
I was like, we can't go there. It's not what we're talking about.
It's more like that Halloween party you went to.
Exactly. That was a fetish thing, not a S&M.
Really? I thought that was just dinner.
You would have loved the DMs on that, by the way.
Oh, yeah. It's funny as I was just off to a Halloween party and I saw it and I was like, I got questions.
I saw some things. We'll leave it at that.
Dusty, a lot of my questions I don't ask. Okay.
My mom used to say the same thing.
Yeah. I've learned my lesson.
Don't ask questions you don't want the answer to. That's the key to life right there.
Oh, goodness. Okay. What we did Breakout Star?
Yep.
Star?
We
did that?
were on Breakout
Yeah.
Star. Breakout
Okay.
Star 25. Which new
new
pro made
pro?
the biggest impression?
That guy that, well, I guess if he's new, is he brand new pro? The guy that
Yes.
just got the Paradis, what's his last name? That guy that just
Joan,
got
don't know how to say it.
Juan
but he's-
Paredes or
We are
yeah,
terrible
that guy.
at this.
Well, no, I think the average person relates to us because we're terrible at it, right?
You might be right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Story of my life.
Pradelis.
Yeah, he just got second last weekend.
Yeah.
He looks like he's freaking in his 20s. Incredible.
Yeah, he's like super young and absolutely crazy looking like that, you know.
His legs are stupid, and he's diced and big. Yeah.
Yeah.
We
Very
will be
interesting.
seeing him at the Olympia next year for sure.
Yeah.
That my pick
He,
was Jordan for that one. That's
Yeah,
when I
well
looked at the list.
that's another great one too, but
I didn't give him the breakout because he was we saw him coming up. This guy I've
Dusty
never even
remembers mentioning
seen
him, yeah,
before.
yeah.
I didn't know who he was, and all of a
That's
sudden
fair.
I'm looking at the Prague show and I'm ignoring the top. I'm like, who the is that? And why don't I even know who you are? Like,
Yeah, that's like true, brand new guy. I think of, and my argument will be for Jordan the same way that like Martin could have been like a breakout the year before. Like we knew him, but he like really stepped it up, at the Olympia.
well, Martin
Like,
was
oh,
definitely
wow.
the breakout in 24. Like,
Yeah.
no
So I
one
see Jordan kind of
having
in that same way.
I see that, yeah,
where like
I
he
definitely see that.
really stepped it up, and now we're like thinking, oh, where's he gonna go to now from here? That'd be my thought. But I think you guys
I'm
picked
always
a good one,
interested with
too.
that, Scott, because the jump between like 12th, 13th, whatever Jordan was,
Yeah.
and top 5 is enormous. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and everyone has figured out that I'm an enormous Jordan fan. But if you said, oh, hey, Jordan and Martin are jumping into the New York Pro, who's winning? I'd be like, come on. Like, Martin. You know what I mean? Just because he's established so far ahead. So that's
for
why
sure.
that next jump is really an interesting one. And I definitely think he has it in him. I mean, I was the one that thought he could be in that mix this year. But it is it's something I tell even my clients, like the jump between winning a regional level overall and being in the top 5 at a pro qualifier is huge. The jump from winning your pro card and being in the top 5 of a third tier pro show is even bigger than that. You know what I mean? Like every time you jump up, that next jump is just huge. And that's why most people won't understand when they, like, I'm sure, Ron, you've had this where people see you when you were at your biggest and best, and they're like, well, you did the Olympia, huh? And you're like, no. But when they're looking at you, they're like, how could this not be, like, one of the best in the world? And you're like, bro, it's not even close.
So I had a guy say something that I thought was just hilarious to me because in hindsight, I'm like, what are you talking about? But he was like, a guy I haven't seen in a long time. He actually popped into my gym. I haven't seen him in like 15 years. And this guy came into my gym and walked right up to me. And I was like, I'm looking at him. I'm like, holy shit, I know this guy. And he goes, Ron. I'm like, hey. And then I remembered his name was Danny. And I was like, oh. It took me a few minutes, but it came to me. And he goes, yeah, I remember when you were like Olympia size. He goes, back in the old hardcore days in Edmonton, I remember when you were Olympia size. And I'm like, what? He's like, well, yeah, back when you were fucking huge. And I was like, oh, yeah, like to people, like that's what, they're all the same size. They're all just, yeah.
Yeah, they don't know.
Like, no. It was
Well,
not
in
Olympia
a
size.
T-shirt, I can beat a lot of these guys.
Right. I'm like, what are you talking about?
It's just if the T-shirt comes off, things start to go sideways.
Yeah. You know. Okay, what's up next? Underrated?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, we like
underrated?
those.
Over under.
Yeah.
Over under.
Yeah,
under.
most
You know the
underrated competitor, someone who didn't get enough hype.
Damn. Enough hype. I'd have to know how much hype they precisely got in order for me to, and I'd have to pay attention to how much hype each one of them was getting.
Yeah, it's
So
really
I'm not
tough.
sure. That's tough. For some reason, I think, like, I'm just thinking of someone who did really well and doesn't really get enough credit for it. I thought Sass had a great year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He took second to Regan and then won the Toronto Pro. And, like, he's such an amazing physique, you know? And, you know, everyone's kind of, you're headed to the Olympia, so everyone's kind of talking about, like, you know, Martin up, right?
Yeah.
But there's, like, you know, these guys that show up at the O, like Jordan and Sass, and these guys that have won pro shows, and they're incredible. And, you know, it's a big year for them, too. I thought Sass had a great year. Who can you think of who's underrated?
I got one because I did it. Clarita.
Oh. There you
No
go.
one saw. I think we were so on Keon that just you couldn't imagine that
Someone
Sean
pushing
would
him.
steal the show. Like Sean stole prejudging. He didn't win, but he stole the show. Like everyone was so set that Keon was just gonna walk in, walk the show, and be done.
Yeah.
That like
And it
when I was at the booth and like I just happened to step away, Scott, and I looked at my phone real quick, and there were some comparison pictures, and I just didn't even look at them. I went right to the comments, and 70-80% of the comments were like, "What the hell did Clarita do?"
Yeah.
And they weren't saying he was going to win, but that was who everyone was talking about. So I thought that was where I realized, like, okay, he did not get the hype because it was all taken by someone else. It's like there's only 100% hype to give, and they gave 99 to the obvious, so there was only 1% left.
Another thing about Clarita is I actually thought about him for comeback story when he got the same placing.
Right.
Right? He got second, and then he gets second, but it was like, what the, you know?
Yeah.
It's like hard, so it's hard to justify it as a comeback story when you look at the placings, but the underhyped, I mean, totally makes sense.
Yeah, that was the one thing I got to see in person. I walked down just in time to see them start the comparisons for 212, and so I was kind of figuring it out in real time. You know, not seeing
like,
the comments yet, not
right.
seeing people's reactions, but just seeing them come out, and I was like, man, Keon's not looking as hard as I would expect. And then
Right.
Sean is like, I think Sean might be looking better. Like, is this possible? I had that like. Where my brain started breaking
Yeah.
for a minute, where you're like,
yeah.
is this
Can't
even
be,
possible? Because
but
this,
it
this
is.
looks like it's, I thought it was definitely
Yeah.
possibly going to be him, especially, you know, you never know what's going to happen. There's going to be the night show and all of that. But from that, it looked like I could have saw Sean take that.
Right.
Sean there's something about Clarita. I don't know if I'll word this correctly because it's meant as a compliment, but he's the type of physique that the casual fan thinks is wild, but the real true bodybuilding guys that understand what this is all about, they're the ones that appreciate his physique the most.
Right.
Because we understand, like, you know, the casual person would think, oh, he's really small compared to these other guys. And then the real bodybuilders know that that's one of the greatest bodybuilders to ever walk the planet.
Right.
And mind-boggling what he's done and the proportions. And if you were to measure everything and do the ratios, like someone's got to do this. I want to see tape measures of wrists, elbows, biceps, quads, and then scale. I want to see someone properly scale it up. Someone just pop pictures
that'd be
into
crazy.
I'm sure someone can just pop it into AI and have everything ratioed. But like, he's underappreciated
For sure.
He's, what's next? Overhyped. Well,
It's a lot easier.
It's possible for two things to be true at the same time. So overhyped. I mean, Samson was, the biggest bummer of the year. Does that mean he's the most overhyped, or would you just call that kind of a disappointing placement?
Yeah.
Scott's like,
Same
I'm
with
not
Nick.
saying.
I'd say
Yeah, and
Nick
then I was going to say
same.
Nick is the other one because he had a bummer at Olympia, right?
Yep.
And everyone was like, "Oh, he's gonna win second." And so,
Right.
it's funny how he came back as comeback story, but could also be overhyped because he had like a bad show at the O, right?
Right.
Is that what you mean, Scott? You're kind of
Yeah,
agreeing with
yeah.
me, but I feel like you're not. No.
No. I'm 100%. That's exactly.
Okay.
That's exactly. I'm on the same page with you.
Okay. Yeah, you were kind of giving me like, yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
But you're wrong. But
You're scaring me with where you're going here. Was kind of the look I was getting. Okay.
No, I was
Okay.
realizing I forgot somebody.
Oh.
I realized I forgot somebody
Us?
on the biggest comeback
Forget?
story. I know. I had two because when I
Well,
looked
let's
at this
hear
list initially, I had two that I initially thought didn't bring either of them up. Brandon Curry, I thought has done a fantastic job of pulling it back together, still hanging and banging, all these years
Right.
later. I think he was at a point where he's no longer at Oxygen. He could have just kind of fizzled out, faded away. But he's like, you know what? I love this. And maybe there's a check in it for me. I'm going to get on that Olympia stage again. And I thought that he's looked incredible this year. But I had to weigh it out. Bigger than him to me, as far as being biggest comeback, would be William Bonac.
Yeah. I meant to bring him up. I thought of Bonac with the comeback too. He just won't go away.
Yeah. And he just came back out of, basically out of retirement, right?
Yeah.
We saw him earlier on. We saw him last year, and it was like, he's downsized a lot. The age has caught up with him. But
Right.
it was just that he hadn't really been at it for long enough again yet. And now look at him this year, all the way from the Detroit Pro on. He's just been like him and Sass both were like, just do it again.
Yeah.
And he looked better and better. Best potentially. We looked at some of the pictures, like maybe the best William Bonac ever was 2025. And this is a guy who's won Arnold Classics before.
Another comeback that I thought was worthy of a mention was actually Ramon, because he was the second place heir to the throne, right? For a while, everyone thought of him as probably the heir to the throne. And then Mike came last year and beat Chris on one judge's scorecard. And there was no talk of Dino after that.
No,
Right.
It was all Sommerfeld. Like, Sommerfeld beat Chris on one judge's card. Oh, that's it. That's the death knell
Right.
of the class. Like, he's going to be, if he convinced one judge, that's it. Because no one ever beat Chris in anything, right?
Right.
Since he won. So, and I was not thinking Ramon would beat Sommerfeld. I thought there's, all this height, weight talk is just noise. Sommerfeld's probably going to win. And then Dino pulled it off. And so to me, that was a comeback, because I did not hear anyone other than Brazilian people saying that it was that Dino was going to win. Everyone kind of had Mike locked in. Wow, heir to the throne, all that stuff, right? And it was Dino, and it was I thought that was a crazy job they did. And I also think that people are way sleeping and not mentioning how Dino's condition was at the O.
Right.
I thought he was one of the hardest, craziest looks I've ever seen. He was unbelievably hard, and he won for a reason. So
I'd put Terrence in that bucket too, because Terrence,
Right.
Terrence was
Took that
second
time off.
to Chris. Yeah.
Yeah.
Terrence was second to Chris in the past. And then I think a lot of people were talking about him for a while, but then they stopped because he took some time off, had some, I think, injury stuff. Plus he knew he needed to put on more size. He was back with some major ferocity this year.
Remember how beefed up he was at the Arnold when he came and sat at the booth and did
Yeah.
that show with us?
Yeah.
I saw him from like across the room, and I was
Yeah.
like, that guy's huge. And then you're like, that's Ruffins. And I'm like, what? He had a tank top on. He looked like he was 250. And then I looked at him, and then someone else walked up and stood beside him, and I was like, oh. Because by himself, he was like on his phone. And I was like, that guy's fucking huge. Yeah. Okay. Best coaching move or team switch?
I mean, that's gotta, as much as I don't know it yet, but at the moment, the Jewett Clarita thing appears to be.
Yeah, appears to be.
Were there any other big change-ups?
I know that Hollingshead switched 7 times.
Who?
Hollingshead switched 7 times.
Oh, he went through a few coaches.
Yes. I mean,
what was his best look?
The last show, the one he just did.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, he was. If they can reproduce that over and over, then I would argue that he had a huge successful move too.
Right.
I mean, he's definitely the best he's been in years.
Yeah, his glutes were the most striated I think I've ever seen them this year.
But he was also exploding full. Like I think from talking to him and hearing even how him and Jordan did things, there was a lot of. He was one of the chefs in the kitchen, and I don't do that with clients. I'm like, get out of my kitchen.
Right.
Because if we do half of your way and half of my way, we fail. If we do all of your way, we'll see. If we do all of my way, we'll see. But I don't, and I think that he did a lot of that before. So however they balance that out between him, Chris, and whatever the new guy's name is, it somehow worked. So we'll see if that can hold through. I hope so. Obviously, I love seeing James slay, but
yeah.
You know, it appeared to work. But just based on, you know, I'm very confident that that Sean and Jewett, John, will reproduce and make that better. And then I guess one more change I'm going to add in that no one knows about because we're not talking about this kind of coaching was Andrew Jack doing his training side with Kamal.
Oh yeah.
So before the Olympia, that was only 6 weeks, and Aceto told me that the changes in that 6 weeks were absurd, which leads me to believe if that stays in play, that Andrew Jack will win the Olympia next year.
So that was the first thing Chris said to me when I ran into him after the show. I said, "Whoa, Andrew looked incredible," and he just looked at me and goes, "Kamal trained him last 6 weeks," and I went, "Oh,
in the gym every day."
Yeah, in the gym. He's like, yeah, paired him up with Kamal. So
needed somebody to kick his butt.
Yeah, I wonder if Kamal was being really careful about his recovery and stuff too.
For sure. Very concerned.
Right. Really, really concerned.
That's Kamal strikes me as a guy who's ever been concerned.
With a guy like Andrew Jack, I don't think I would worry about his recovery once for a single second. He's not human. He's not you. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I think that's the problem. You're putting human terms on super freaks.
Yeah. It's like Chihuahuas and Rottweilers, like Cane Corso bite force and Poodle bite force. Like, don't worry about it. Nothing you can do. Nothing you could do, you know? So
I got one more for
let's go.
Best coaching move. Now, this was technically 10 weeks out of the 24 Olympia. I know you guys will agree. Drea Shaw. You know, because that was literally just that last 8-10 weeks going into the 24 Olympia, but now they had an entire year together, and that was by hands down. I mean, and here's the thing: I feel like the competition is getting more fierce for her every year. Like she's forcing the girls to try harder and get better, but she's gotten better too.
I think that I agree with you that the competition has gotten better, but I also think that she has furthered the gap between her and them.
You know what else, too, about Drea is...
She'll hurt you with a hug?
She'll hurt you with a hug.
I saw that.
So Drea was Miss Olympia multiple times, and it was despite some of the things she was doing.
Yeah.
Right? So she got with a new coach,
Damien.
And now we're all very happy with how she's being coached, and now she's massively improved. Most of the girls chasing her are not going to find their radical improvements the same way she did. They're probably going to up the risk.
Yep.
They were already doing
they're
the things.
already, she was doing things that were actually hurting her as a bodybuilder, despite, she was winning despite some of the coaching. That's very rare to win Olympias despite coaching. So now with good coaching or better coaching, she's, you know, improved radically. But the other girls, I think, are, some of them might be forced to try to catch her in other ways that don't do them any favors.
Yeah.
Because Drea's look is like, how can you match her look? Like everything going on, you can tell she's healthy as fuck. Like look at her, she looks amazing. Like Drea's just, she's one in 10 million athletes. People got to spend some time around her just to realize how good she is. You know what I mean?
On so many levels, just as human being, everything. And I don't think people can comprehend supplement wise how little it takes to be her. That's a problem for everybody.
Can you
else.
think of anyone who has better skin than Drea? it's crazy.
What's funny, and Scott, I know you know this too, but she would tell us things she was doing in the past when she was winning, and it was like nails on a chalkboard as a coach who knows better. But like, what are you going to say? Oh, he's doing it wrong and you're on your 4th Olympia title?
Yeah.
It's really hard to say that, but I'm thinking the whole time, I mean, Ron and I had multiple conversations where she would say something and we just look at each other like,
we gotta
pull the sodium. And I was like,
you're a month out.
Yeah, like her and I talked about it, and I tried to be careful because, like, at the same time, they're winning Olympias. I'm not, right? But I would say, like, so if you pull the salt out at 6 weeks, then that means, you know, this, and this, you're going to be super sensitive to sodium, meaning that even a tiny bit's going to cause you to bloat. But then I had to say, but at the same time, maybe they don't want you to look as hard because the look that you had won. So maybe that's what's doing it. You know? Kind of spin it around that way.
Yeah. I would just say, wow, that wouldn't work for me.
Yeah, nothing. I mean? That wouldn't work for most people. Definitely not at that level. But no, the gap this year was, I sent Nikki one photo. It was a camera shot that Luke took. Yeah. And she literally was like, I don't understand how she gets this much better. And she's already so much better than everyone else. Yeah. It's mind boggling. So good call,
Scott.
Cool. Good call.
It's pretty cool.
Physique trend of 2025.
Yeah, like couple wrap up.
Is there a
to
physique
the
trend?
whole
Is there
thing.
a trend? Is there a trend?
I don't know the question. I don't understand.
Are the judges rewarding
waists?
athletics or more mass, or do you think the small waists are being really pinned on, or I don't know? Is there a trend with how bodybuilding is headed?
Yes, the biggest, rippedest guy with the best genetic structure
and the most muscle overall.
Yeah, that's
do that. Work on doing that.
If you want to be a great bodybuilder, choose the right parents.
Get massive and shredded everywhere.
Let me write that down, Dusty. Let me write that down.
I'm trying to look back and realize I did not make a solid choice.
You made a better choice than me.
Yeah, arguable, but yeah.
I would say a physique trend. I mean, maybe not judging wise, but just as far as like all the people I know that are working hard towards physiques, if we could just take it to that category. I mean, trends in like what people are doing. Obviously, the peptide stuff is all massively a huge trend in the physique, world to try to find improvements and stay healthier and recover and all that. So I think that's without a doubt the biggest trend in the whole industry this year is the
that's not a question.
Peptide madness. Yeah. So we'll see.
Peptide
and it's always exciting too. Yeah. Like, 10 new supplements show up and who survives? Like, right?
People and supplements.
Yeah. Like who's here next year? Who's here in 2 years? Right.
Yeah.
Because I just remember all the stuff that's come and gone over the years, and
oh God, so much.
Oh God,
and so many things that we were certain were the next thing that were gone 15 minutes later.
And it all goes to show, like, stuff that has a laboratory result, like in rat studies their insulin sensitivity got this much better, and all that sort of stuff. And then sometimes it just doesn't translate to the bodybuilder gym goer, like They take a bunch of vanadyl sulfate for 6 months, and they're not really any bigger or leaner, and they don't really notice anything with their body fat, and they don't really, on paper, their insulin sensitivity is probably a little better, but it's not enough to impact their physique or make a visual difference, right? So that's the difference. It's like, oh yeah, you are running with better insulin sensitivity, and you are operating slightly better, but you won't actually see it.
Right.
And so we'll see what happens with the peptides, because like we all see, like on paper, they all have some, at least an animal study to back them or something like that. There's all this exciting evidence coming out, and, so we'll just have to see what sort of like comes out in the wash.
I think what's interesting, and I guess this makes me old, just like my age does, is the fact that I feel like back in the day when we found a new supplement that was allegedly the Holy Grail, we added it into the arsenal of how we were already doing things. Mm-hmm. And I feel like a lot of what people are doing now is in hopes that it'll take away the onus on the athlete to be better. Like, for example, when you look at like Retta, the reason that it would be a viable supplement for someone like me is a lot different than most. I think most people are like, oh, good, I won't be hungry. It'll make dieting easier.
Right.
And I think that you're missing the boat if that's how you're looking at stuff. Like there's so many other attributes that should be better. And I always felt like, kind of back to the Branch Warren quote that he did on that podcast I love so today. It was like, when did it go out of style to work hard?
Yeah. When
we used to look and it'd be like, okay, if I'm going to take 400 milligrams a test and I'm already training this way, well, with my recovery being better, I could probably train even harder.
Right.
Yeah.
And take it even further. And I think a lot of the attitude of people, I'm not saying bodybuilders, but just people in general with this stuff, it's like, oh, cool, so I can do less and get a similar result. Great.
Right.
And my brain does not commute with why would you want to do less? I'm just like, this will get me 1% better. Let's go.
I remember Dorian at a seminar, the seminar I saw in 93 when I was 18 years old. I remember, and then remember this was 93. So like the term periodization was strictly a strength and conditioning textbook term. Mm-hmm. Like you didn't hear it in bodybuilding really at all. There was the odd person talked about it, but it wasn't like a thing that pros talked about. And I remember a guy asked him, he's like, do you periodize your training? I remember that because I remember knowing what that meant because I'd played football and, football coaches talk about periodization, with seasons, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, well, because it sounded, Dorian was very good at talking about gear without really telling you exactly what he meant, right? So he'd say, well, typically in the off season, I blast, like I go hard for 6 weeks. And then I pull back a little bit for 4 to 6 weeks. And then I go hard for 6 weeks and I pull back a bit for 4 to 6 weeks. And you're like, oh, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
And then he's like, when I pull back for 4 to 6 weeks, I only train to failure. So that was like the basement of effort.
Yeah.
Right? That's his minimal effort is like, I just train to failure. And then when I'm going hard.
Yeah.
I use forced reps, rest pause, negatives,
right.
Sometimes a drop set, but you know what I mean? So that's what he said at a seminar. So we all took that. Oh, he goes, 4 weeks back off, 6 weeks back off, whatever, no forced reps. And then like 6 to 8 weeks, ram. So the minimal effort was failure.
Right. Yeah.
And so it's just
that's
a
what I'm
different lens.
talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just feel like that lens was more fun.
Yeah, it was always more fun.
Like,
it was always more fun.
I had a hard time because, with DC training, you take cruise periods.
Right.
And you go in the gym and like just get a little pump and kind of move on your way. And I remember I just emailed Dante one time and I said, hey, I'd rather just not go. Is that something I can do? Because it just seems so boring. And he was like, all right, listen, you can not go for a week. But then I need you to come in for a week and do the pumps to kind of like get yourself ready to go back in.
Right.
Because what would happen is I would go to the gym and I'm like, 4 days into a cruise and your warm up feels good. And you're like,
yep, I can go do that.
I think I might just going to chase the number today.
Yeah. No. I did I mention to you guys I hurt my shoulder sleeping funny at the Olympia? Did I mention that to you? Oh, I couldn't lift my arm over my head for like almost a week.
50.
And I went and got an ultrasound and everything, and it turned out my supraspinatus was like this big around. It was so inflamed.
Oh, geez.
And so it was getting pinched under my, like when I tried to lift my arm, it would get pinched and then my arm would just shut down.
Right.
Like I could, and then it eventually just calmed down and I'm like, fine. So long story short is, now I can't remember where I was going with this.
Oh boy.
Because you said I'm getting
you
old.
just said, did you mention,
you are old.
you hurt your arm?
Yeah.
Dude, you need to get to this. I'm invested now.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know.
What was the topic though? What were we talking about?
We're during training.
Oh, yes.
There we go.
So I didn't want to not train because I thought getting the blood in there and moving it around, motion is lotion. That's what I always say.
True.
So I thought I won't do anything that directly hurts, but I got to get in there and move around. So I was in there doing like 2-plate hammer rows, 1-plate shoulder presses, trying to move it. And it was so hard to focus. Like, I was literally in the gym. Like but I was like in the gym, like on my phone between sets, like returning business texts. I'm like, oh yeah, 10 treadmills will fit in that space. And, like
Do a set, come
do
back.
a set. And I was like, oh my God, is this how people train when they don't train hard?
Yeah.
Like this, I'm doing like side laterals with like a 20-pound dumbbell. And then I'm like, yeah, I would up my
While
carbs,
you're doing the
20
lateral raise,
grams.
you're thinking about I got to check Brett's email.
Yeah, I got some updates. I got an update that's a day old. I got to get back to that guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I just thought, I couldn't live like this. This is just too insane. I need my brain to be like really involved.
Yeah.
And I had for like a week, I just had these joke workouts. I didn't even train with Braden. I was like, just do your thing, you know?
Yeah, he would have thrown you out.
Yeah. I know. So I'm looking around at other people that are just on their phone between sets. I'm like, I'm one of them now.
Can I get your number? I'll text you between sets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What's the next one on there? What division was most competitive?
Yeah, that was the last one on the list.
Wow, that's the open.
Yeah.
Look what happened. Mr. Olympia getting beaten, you know, the crazy shit with Andrew, you know, everything that went on
The
at the
number
O,
of people that people thought could win.
Yeah. People are like, Nick's gonna win, Andrew's gonna win, Derek's gonna win,
But even
Heidi's
what was
gonna win,
happening,
Samson's
like,
gonna win.
you had 3 people that were certain that, like, you could argue could have won that show after prejudging. Even after the finals, you could be like, wow.
Just think if you went back to like 2015 when Phil was winning, 2016, 2017, right? And you said, hey, in 10 years, less than 10 years, we're going to have an Olympia where there's 3 Mr. Olympias in the top 4.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You'd be like, oh, that's a weird sounding era.
Yeah, it doesn't happen because once you lose, you retire. Like,
Yeah, you win
Right.
multiples and you retire. That's like the drill, you know, or you come back and do one more and like Ronnie got 4th and they retired, right? You know, like you don't have 3 Mr. Olympias in the top 4. That would have just seemed wacko. And now we're like expecting it, you know? So
yeah, that's definitely different.
very competitive.
Agreed.
Okay.
Well, we got our other group of questions here.
Yeah, I'm going to take a leak. I'll be right back. You guys talk. I can hear you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I love it.
I'll be right back.
What do you got for us out of those, Dusty? What do you want to hit on
All
that?
right. Well, we got a few here. I got to skip some there. Let's see here. Bum.
All right.
Okay, this is good. I thought this would be a good one, and hopefully by the time we're done, Ron can jump in on it. But what suggestions do you have for someone that wants to be successful in life when they don't know where to start?
You know what I'll say is that I didn't know what I wanted to do initially with bodybuilding, but I knew I wanted to do something with it. Mm-hmm. And I followed the advice that I got from Dave Palumbo, listening to him talk in 2005. And he said, if you love what you're doing, just keep doing it for free, and it will eventually come back to you. I didn't know what that meant. I didn't know how it was going to look, but I was answering questions on message boards, and I started a thread that was like literally an Ask Me Anything thread. And people were asking me. I didn't have a ton of experience, but I was a competitor, and there were other guys that wanted to compete. So I'd say, well, this is what I did, you know, and it built from there, and it evolved, and it turned into where I am today.
So, Ron, the question was, what suggestions do you have for someone that wants to be successful in life when they don't know where to start?
Oh, yeah, that's such a huge successful in life.
Yeah, so
Like,
it could be
the
in
whole thing.
anything. Yeah, it could be in, I mean, and obviously your versions of success are different, so you got to keep it real broad.
So I tell everyone some base stuff. Learn to mind your own business.
I like that. You went even
Like,
more base than me. I like that.
yeah, like stop caring about other people's lives. They don't care about yours. 99% of the stuff you think people think about you, they don't think at all. They don't even consider you. They're busy worried about their bills, their dog, their job, their own insecurities. No one's looking, no one's watching, no one fucking cares. Mind your own business. Stop worrying about whether other people like really focus on that. Every minute of energy you spend being involved with nonsense and drama is just a complete waste of your time. I just annex all of that from my life. And I fully recommend that. Focus on you, make money, be happy, like keep it simple. Focus on taking care of yourself. Yeah, I don't know. I see so much time wasted by people. And like, I'd rather waste my time. If I'm going to waste time, I'm going to waste time watching football.
That's not a waste of time.
Right. Or I'm going to waste time playing with my dogs, or I'm going to waste time playing my guitar. But I'm not going to waste time worrying about his relationship and what she said about him, and I not wasting that time. Don't give a fuck. And more people have to learn that. I don't know. That's just where my brain went.
Yeah,
I think it's beautiful.
When I read the question, my first thought was, I'm not going to try to put this into what my version of success is. So I said, all right, well, the first thing I think everyone should do is kind of along the lines of what you were saying, Ron, which is just settle in and say, do I have my house in order? Meaning, like, am I taken care of? Like, do I make sure that hold a high standard? Like, I make, like, something I hammer the girls on. Like, I think every person in the world should do one thing they don't want to do every day on purpose.
I love it.
Every day. You have to do that. Because my argument is life will throw shit at you don't want to do, and you're going to have to do it. If you're used to that, you don't even think about it. You just execute, move forward, on to the next thing. I think that being in physically healthy condition, I'm not talking bodybuilding, but being in shape is an enormous thing because it requires that you are handling your business, that you are organized, that you have a plan. Again, you might hate going to the gym. Cool, that knocks off the thing you don't want to do. You've got that knocked out of the way too. Look at your finances. You do not have to make a bunch of money to line that up and make sure you're living within your means and having savings. Once you have all those things in order, you can then start branching out. You know, like I see people even, they're like, oh, I can't find the right girl or the right guy. And I'm like, are you the right guy? Like, look at yourself and say, you know, because to me, and I think you guys can agree because you guys are both in great positions, the right partner decides a lot of your success in life. And you have to ask yourself, okay, when I look at the world and what I'm looking for a woman or a man, why would they choose me? Then, if the answer is they wouldn't, get to work. You know, right. But again, it all starts with if you build your foundation on yourself first, and that's locked down, your foundation is set. Now you're ready to take on, whether it be a business or a partner or whatever these other things are. I think where so many people have a problem being successful is their foundation is shit. So when you throw a curve or there's any difficulty, things fall apart. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you know, you really establish who you are and people know who that is. I mean, you know, I have a lot of relationships in life. Just last week, my daughter got in a little fender bender, and the insurance company took her to a place, and she has a big lifted truck, and I was not confident that they could do the job. So I called up one of the places I use all the time, and I said, hey, do you do work on cars through an insurance company? He goes, no, I don't. I go, do you do work through an insurance company for me? And he said, yes, I do. I was like, perfect. I'm going to send the car there. But that comes from establishing who you are with someone else.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So the rules start to change if you let people know who you are and you've established that solidly. So I think more people should start with who they are first and then say, now am I ready to start a business? You know, if you can't even organize your own life and your own basic finances and your little apartment and all that shit, how the hell are you going to run a business?
Yeah.
I like both of those. Those are both good.
Yeah. What about you?
I threw one out
He already
already.
did his.
Mine was real basic and simple. It was, I liked your guys' better.
Oh yeah. I have a thing where I need my whatever 10 things in my life. I need them to be I need them to be like set up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I'm very big on like my vehicle has to be operational. Like I couldn't have a taillight out.
Yeah.
If I had a taillight out, I would immediately get it fixed. I can't drive around with the taillight out. Some people can, but that's chaos to me because now you're going to get pulled over and now you're going to be late for something and now you're going to be upset and then you're going to be rushing and then that's when you get in an accident. And like
you can save yourself all of that.
You could just save yourself all of that by just getting your taillight fixed. And there's people out there with $100,000 in the bank driving around with a burned out taillight.
Yeah.
And I just, that's to me chaos. I don't live in that world.
It's a slippery slope.
Slippery slope. That's how I feel. Well, you don't get that taillight fixed. Next thing you know, you're gonna,
Ron's covered in tattoos and
well, I just fall apart.
He's got hookers and
I
remember last time we did that.
I got gambling apps on my phone. And it's just going spiraling downward. Yeah,
all went back to that taillight. We saw that taillight.
Yeah,
would have fixed that taillight. Ron would have never lost it all.
I thought that was the beginning of the end. Yeah.
All right,
just like that sort of stuff.
So I have a fun one for you guys, and I read it when Nikki sent it to me, and I was like, I'm not even going to think about it because I wanted to do it live. If you could take one personality characteristic from the other hosts of the show, what would it be and why?
Oh. Am I being forced to go first here?
Yeah, because I'm not ready.
So, personality trait. I don't really know I don't really know what the traits are all called. Proper
We're just
terms,
making this shit up, dude.
Personality trait. Well, I really admire Scott's deep love for firearms and the technicality.
It's a personality trait.
No, but it's
called autism, Ron.
It's called autism. No, but I relate to it. And his that's a Russian AK, and you can tell it's a Russian AK because of the way they wrote the serial. Like that stuff, I totally get because I'm like that with other things. So when I see Scott with his guns, I'm like, oh, I get that. To me, I'm like, I know that guy.
Anybody else though, you see a wall of all the same gun,
Right? Yeah. But I know that's an SG standard. It's not an SG. Like junior, it's not an SG custom, it's an SG standard, and I know, and I can tell, and I understand that when you look at your AKs, and also too, anyone that has something that they're trying to master and maintain a perishable skill. I like mastering and maintaining a perishable skill is a lifelong work. You don't learn guitar and then just know it. Yeah. You can never stop playing or you will automatically get worse. No matter how good you are, if you stop playing, you will get worse.
Right.
And when you're only this good, if you stop playing, you get pretty shitty pretty quick. So
there's things in there too, like that's exercising parts of your brain that are probably going to keep you from getting dementia or whatever, 30 years from now or whatever, 40 years from now.
Absolutely. So I admire that stuff. And also too, just, you manage a lot of other projects with a lot of people, and it must be, especially the podcasting stuff, it must be like a lot of technical work that we don't see. So that's cool. Yeah. And then Dusty, and then a personality trait that Dusty has, I really admire.
Here we go. Here we go.
I really admire how blunt and honest Dusty is with people. And it is hard to do. It's not always easy to just tell people the fucking truth right now to their face in a reasonably digestible way.
Reasonably.
And Dusty has that ability, and it's always, I've seen it in work, I've seen it in action, and I'm just like, oh, here we go. But that was actually pretty good. Handled that well. Like it's yeah. Anyways, that's
classic.
Yeah, and Dusty really does not care what other people think, and I like to try to be that way, but everyone has stuff they do care about, right? Like certain things I don't want people to think about me. I'm like, oh no, I think that person thinks that. I don't know if that ever crosses Dusty's mind.
You know what it is, though? I think you'll get this, Ron, because I had this conversation the other day with one of my daughters. I think that we think from how we look at things. For example, like, I don't care what people do with their life at all.
Right.
As long as they're not like hurting people or whatever, I don't care. I don't care what you're dressed as, who you sleep with. None of those things matter to me.
No.
And that's why, because I don't think about that for other people, I don't think anyone's thinking about it for me.
Right.
Whereas
Which is true.
I think sometimes when you're kind of looking at people like, oh, they shouldn't do that and they shouldn't do that, then you're thinking everyone else is looking at you that way as well.
Yeah.
And now you're worried about how they're viewing your life. And like you said, they're probably not.
They're probably not. And I'm smart enough to know that, but I still get those moments where I'm like, it's more person specific though. I don't care what people think, but sometimes I'd be like, I don't know how I handle that conversation right. I hope that guy doesn't think this. Like how Scott was that one time with Mitch. Right?
I thought of that immediately.
See, like, I don't know if that would have bothered Dusty. Dusty might have just went, he thinks I'm a dick, and then walked away.
Maybe life will work this out
and
later.
not even
maybe
occur to him for the rest.
won't.
Whereas Scott spent 48 hours going, I got to have another conversation with him. I got
to clear this up.
But I would have been too. In that situation, I would have been too. I would have been like, Scott would have been like, I got to talk to this guy again. I got to straighten this out. And Dusty would have been like, well, add it to the pile.
It's a funnier story the other way.
What I was doing, I recognized it, and then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna sit. What I was doing was like, I'm gonna sit with this discomfort.
Sit in this.
This discomfort is good for me because at the end of the day, I shouldn't let it bother me.
Right.
It bothers me, so I'm just gonna sit on it, And if I get the chance, then I'm gonna say something, but I'm not gonna go out of my way, and I'm gonna accept right now that for the rest of my life and the rest of his life, this might be the way things go.
Right.
Fortunately for Scott,
excellent.
it was fixed at dinner the next day.
That's excellent, though. You're aware enough, right? And I have the awareness too. Like I've thought of that too, where I'm like, no, let this go.
Let it
somebody told me, Ron, try this one day, because there's a people pleasing element that we all have to some degree, and I'm very polite. No, okay, all of to some degree, I said, to some degree or another,
Small degree.
So I try this at some time. I was told go to, and it was difficult for me at the time because I'm real polite to people, and if you like, I come up to your register and I'm buying stuff, I'm gonna say, hey, how you doing today? How's your day going? You guys busy up here? Stuff like that. I just personalize it, and the challenge to me was that you don't owe that person anything other than to pay them money. So walk in, Ron, don't say a freaking word to the cashier. Just, $5.46, hand them your money,
Beep.
Get your change, walk away. Don't say a word. Yeah, and I tried it, man, and I was like, ooh, that's uncomfortable for me. But then I had to realize, like, it's uncomfortable for a reason. Yeah, I wanna try to like make somebody happy, and And do I need to do that? No, I don't need to do it. I can choose to do it.
That's my question for that though, Scott. I don't know. I get annoyed in the other way. Like when we go to Florida, you can tell that like Florida cashiers, most of them are dicks.
Yeah.
So like you walk in and you're like, you put your Gatorade down, the lady goes, and I see the total. I'm like, oh, you're not even going to tell me. I'm like,
yeah.
Okay. So then I scan my card, and then it goes through, and I grab my drink and walk away, and I'm like,
what are you here for?
You hate your life.
Can we get a robot?
It just like blew. I mean, literally, I was like,
Optimus could do this job.
There were no words, So I don't know. I'm with you on that side, Scott, though, because it's my natural being. Like when people are nice, next thing you know, they're like tip. I'm like, hell yeah, $5. He did nothing.
Yeah. I think it's that you have to be okay with it not going the way you want to.
Right.
That you're going to run into that person and there's nothing you can do. And if it's so important that you have this pleasant interaction, you're not going to have that with everybody. So you have to be able to accept that some people just aren't going to give that to you.
Yeah. If they don't give me anything, I'm like, well, you're going to work here forever or get fired. All good. So I had to throw this in because, Scott, you actually made me think of it about the character trait. So my bodybuilding career and this whole thing, it was kind of an accident. Like, I didn't set out and say, this is what I'm going to do. And I think the fact that you already knew what you wanted to do and didn't know how, you like where you were going to do it. I think that kind of goes back to that question somebody asked earlier, where it's like, you know, I see guys like Gary Vee and all these guys talking about that. Like, what is your passion? And then find a way to enjoy what you do by being within your passion. And I think it sounds so simple, and it's not. Like, the fact that you were into bodybuilding, you were like, how am I going to do this? And then you also had that side piece where your obsession was helping people.
Let's not talk about her. Oh,
that was such a great spot right there. I thought she knew. But no, that piece also made it more difficult.
Yeah.
Because really important part for you was the helping people aspect. So I don't know. I think when I look at something like that, it's you reverse engineered your career.
Yeah.
And that's very difficult to do. You know what I mean? Most of us kind of like fall into something and then a few paths open up and you choose one. You kind of said, okay, I'm doing this and I need this component of being able to help people. How do I do that? And then you set something in motion, you know what I mean? With the question area on the forums and all that. And it presented itself. But without you reverse engineering, you weren't going to have a way to do that.
Yeah, no, I'd be exactly where I was. You know, I wouldn't have moved forward at all. I would have just sat in the same spot.
I wish that more people would share their stories. I know it's hard to do, but because I think that would help a lot of young people coming up. Like, my girls have an advantage because I'm in their ear all the time with things I learned the hard way. And I'm like, you have no idea like where you'll be when you're 44 years old compared to me because of this information.
Yeah.
But, you know, like, so I feel like when people share stories, like something like that could really hit for somebody where they're like, okay. And then Ron's is easy for me. Ron is the only person that I know that is actually very convicted in a lot of what he thinks and sees. But there's not a person in the history of the world that doesn't like Ron or is not willing to do business with him on some way because they know he's solid.
Yeah.
And usually, in most cases, if somebody said like, oh, no one has a problem with this person, I'd go, well, then they don't get off the fence. Because if no one has an issue with you, that usually means you don't stand strong in anything. And Ron defies that law because I've seen him like stand and go, nope, fuck you. This is the way it is. But he says fuck you in the most Canadian polite way that people thank him for it.
Yeah.
So that's it's funny because I really look like that's something that I look at as an attribute that I'm like, it's enormous and it's also impossible. Because to me, that's something that you can't like develop that trait. You just can't, you know, and that's why everywhere we go, someone like even Jim said the other day, we were talking about athletes that I'm looking at and stuff. And he goes, do you know how many people know you guys? And I was like, kind of. And he's like, no, you have no idea. Like, I'll be on an airplane and mention mutant or whatever. And then they'll be like, oh, Ron Partlow. And he's like, really?
Yeah.
So I think that just comes out from putting stuff out all the time and being consistent. You know, we get that a lot. And we had it at the Olympia where a lot of people know when they meet any of us, but definitely Ron, where they're like, I feel like I've known him for years and I met him today.
Yeah.
And I think that's a huge compliment in our world where everyone's trying to navigate what they're going to say and how they're going to act, get the most hits. And we're like, I don't really care if we get hits.
Right.
So,
I've got two. I've got three, actually. One I've shared before, and it's for both of you. And it's that you guys handle yourselves professionally, that I've done a lot of podcasts over the years. And if you tell a bodybuilder, like, let's do this at 1:00 on Monday, I also need to message them on Saturday and say, hey, were we still on for the show,
Right.
you know, and then Sunday, make sure that things are still good. And Monday,
Yeah.
maybe hit them up an hour or two beforehand. Like you guys are
Yeah.
like, oh, we're going to do this. We're here. This is the time. This is what we do. And that's the sole reason that this podcast has worked the way it's worked, because of that thing that you guys do, the way you handle yourselves. So I'll say that first. I've said that before. And then I'll say for Dusty, I didn't know you as well pre-coma. I've gotten to know you a lot better
No one knew me
post-coma.
as well pre-coma.
I
can
think
tell
there's some
stories.
truth to that. I think there's some truth to that. I knew you well enough to see how much you've changed, and I see how much you appreciate your level of mindful. You have a level of mindfulness that I don't think you had before, where you appreciate the moment. And I think that that's a really cool reminder. It's, to me, refreshing. It's something that I value a lot. And to see you do that is a really good reminder to me of a thing that I always want to try to do. You know, like when you've talked about like just being able to get in the gym and get that workout in, and the, you know, being there, being present in that, you know, not distracted. And I know that when you're doing that, you're not distracted. You're not thinking about all the other things that you have to do. And I know that now you're even more plugged in because you understand how important that is to be present. So that's a big one for you. And then Ron, I would say, in, you know, your new gym project that you're working on is a great example. Your mind for business is kind of awe-striking to me, and you're very humble about it. But
Yeah, it's like he doesn't know, which is annoying.
what
There's
you
that honesty.
what you built with your name, your personal brand, and then what you've built for your legacy is maybe a word you could use. I feel like that's a pretty big word to use, you know, but what you've built through that now with the gym and what you've built for your community is a lot bigger than you really let off. You have a lot of humility in it, and I respect that, but more so, I respect the mind that it takes to do all of that. Like you've put a lot together, man. Like between, like, I mean, that was your idea to do Mutant on a Mission. And like, I watched that for years, you know, before I knew you. Right. And that's one of the big things. People either say, hey, I know you guys, you know, I love you. The people who come up to the booth, sometimes a lot of times they're like, hey, yeah, listen to the podcast. If they're talking to me, they listen to the podcast, and they always, or if not, then they say, I know Ron from Mutant on a Mission, watch that for years, or they watch, you know, both. But it's like everything that you've done, I have a huge respect for what you've done with business. I think it's pretty cool. And I feel like you make it look easy. You make it look like it's just cut and dry. Like, you know, you just go to the bank, you get the loan, and you do this, and you talk to these companies, and, you know, you're like, oh, it's that, you know, you make it look easier than it is, I think.
I joked with someone that the key to business is ignoring all of the alarm bells that are going off in your head constantly. That this is a bad idea. Seriously.
Yep.
The amount of alarm
Especially
bells.
a gym.
Yeah. The amount of alarm bells I've ignored.
It's the stress. You don't get stressed about stuff, and neither you guys do. You guys don't get like worked up about things.
But Ron definitely has gotten, the gym has helped with that. Because we talked before the gym, when he was still working at Mutant, and once he bought the gym, he was just, I think what happens, Scott, is you put yourself in a position where you either succeed or you're fucked.
Yeah.
And once those are your two options, success becomes the only option. You know, so it's, and now that once you have that skill, and he's already proven it works, now it's like, you know, if Ron comes to anyone and says, I'm opening a gym, can I have some money? They're like, yep. Like, I wouldn't blink. They'd be like, yeah, sure. I don't want nothing to do with it. Here's $200,000. Like, give me my ROI at some point. We're good to go. But yeah, it's definitely something that's gotten even better over time.
I appreciate that. I think one thing that is valuable that I was told by someone was, and it's not just one person, but like other people I admire always said on it. Like Rob Bailey used to hype about it all the time, and I really admire Rob Bailey because Rob Bailey's someone that I admire, that he did not care. He tried everything.
Yep.
And if it stuck, it stuck and he ran with it. If it didn't stick, it just disappeared from his social media and never heard of it again.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, he's had a lot of businesses. He's not afraid to fire something up and give it a go and lose a bit of money on it, but it was fun. And then the next one's a cash cow. And the next, you know what I mean? And he said the biggest mistake people make is they don't bet on themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And once you bet on yourself and you win, you're like, oh, I'll bet on myself again. And you win again. And then you realize, oh, it's not really a bet because I'm in control of my destiny.
Yeah. He actually did a great thing the other day, Ron. Somebody said, I have $10,000 to invest. What should I do with it? And he said, oh, that's the easiest question I've ever gotten. You need to take that $10,000 and invest it in something that you can use as a skill. And now you became an electrician or whatever thing it was that you could do with $10,000. He goes, and now you run with that. And then when it creates more money, do it again. Yes. And do it again and do it again. Because most people, they're thinking you're going to say like, oh, buy Bitcoin.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And sit on it for 30 years.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's like, no, just if you do this, then it's a XYZ amount of money you make permanently, and then you can build it from there. And I thought that was really great advice, because your knee jerk when someone asks you a question like that isn't to break it down that simple. You're like, oh, I mean, when somebody said that to me, I'm like, it's not a lot. You know what I mean? And then you're like, oh, if you switch your mindset the way he did, that's a ton. You're like, oh, that's a ton. Scott, are we going to do our review right now?
Yeah. So I was mixing this up in the background. You guys have both tried Big Greens. Am I right?
Yeah, every night.
Yeah. So I put 1 scoop in my shaker cup. I've got this.
How much
shaker
water
cup
did you do?
It's about like that much.
Okay, that's a lot of water for 1 scoop, but go ahead.
Is it? All right. Now, I got to ask you guys, so I don't eat a lot of vegetables. Am I going to crap my brains out if I drink a whole scoop all at once?
No, it's not like
doesn't
a
work
fiber
like that.
bomb or
Yeah.
anything. It's
And this
a
is
nutrient.
what flavor is this? This is
a nutrient
just chocolate.
bomb.
It's called just chocolate.
Yeah.
All right.
So they make chocolate sound not exciting by calling it just chocolate.
Here's the thing, I'm kind of on the spot, because if I don't like
if you hate it,
I'm
it's
going to have to say
live.
I'm gonna have to say I don't like it. You know what I mean?
I will tell you already made it a little thin, so it's going to be not as flavorful as I would do it.
It's actually
but
maybe
go
a
ahead.
little lower. It's about right there. But anyway, and I have had several people reach out.
Real good, like.
Yeah, make
Oh
sure
yeah,
it's
I really shook it up, and
okay.
I had several people reach out to me about this when I said last week that I was going to sample it. In fact, I even got a video of people literally drinking their greens before bed, saying, "Hey,
nice.
We're going to try it for you right now."
Welcome to the gang.
Right. So nothing else is in there. You just mixed it by itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just mix it with itself, just water.
Well, give it a good
all
swirl. Give it a good swirl. Make sure it's fresh.
We want to know it's.
Oh yeah, I
we
really
don't
just
trust you.
All right.
All right.
Okay, there we go.
right.
I want to hear it.
We want to know. You had it muted. I didn't trust you.
All right.
Yeah. Okay.
And
Big
that was Peter and Jennifer, by the way. Jennifer. That works
Okay.
with you,
Yeah,
Dusty.
I just got her on that. Yep.
All right.
There's a legitimate swallow there.
It's good. Yeah.
See, that wasn't a
it's good.
fake. That wasn't a fake. See?
No, it tastes really good. It tastes. I haven't drank Yoo-Hoo, but I can say it tastes like chocolate drink,
which is what Yoo-Hoo is. You're covered.
Yoo-Hoo, yeah. So
yes.
I don't
now,
have to chug it. Like you can just
no.
drink
So
this
let's just
yeah.
So there's greens all have like it's really hard to cover up greens.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh
like
yeah.
Greens have that earthy taste, right? So how would you describe the level of greens taste in that?
I don't taste it. I just taste like the chocolate drink flavor. There's like, hold on.
It kind of has a bit of a natural protein flavoring too. Like, you know, when you taste like a vegan protein, it's got that little bit of earthy, but you don't
Hardly
really,
though.
It's good.
Yeah,
but
maybe
it's
like
minor.
a minor earthiness, but like I would say
But
on
it's not a
scale-
bad thing.
I would say like how much can I taste it on a scale of 1 to 10? It would be like a 0.5 to a 1. So meaning it's mostly chocolate drink.
And to me, it almost triggers a psychological benefit. Like, oh, this must be healthy. Do you know what I mean?
There's a little something there that's not just chocolate. That must be good.
Yeah, that's really good. That's
like
really
if it tasted like a McDonald's milkshake, I'd go, "Where's the greens?"
Yeah, this can't possibly be okay.
Yeah.
But you drink it and you're like, "This is a really good chocolate." I didn't know greens could be chocolate like this. Yeah, that's how it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
like
again,
If you do that just do that before bed every night, Scott. That's part of my little mix. Do that little protein, good to go. And I mean,
mine's isolate with a bit of collagen, with creatine, 30 grams of fiber, and my greens. That's what I drink before bed.
Ron
Okay.
has no issues in the morning, I can promise. Based on
No,
that shit.
first thing I do in the morning. I don't even need an alarm clock. I get up to go to the bathroom. And then I'm wide awake. Trust me. I'm wide awake.
So
Yeah, that's good.
I have an off-topic item I wanted to read. Do you guys remember Cade Zook?
Yeah.
Okay, so he put something up the other day. It was a
It
story.
was huge.
Yeah. And I wanted to read this because I thought it was very valid for anybody who is a bodybuilder or a coach or anything. And he's a coach and obviously still lives the lifestyle. And he said, I do what I'm supposed to every single day, so I expect everyone else to do the same. And they put in parentheses, who work with me. Don't bitch about your lack of food or surplus of, don't bitch about how much cardio you're doing or how tired you are. You're choosing to do this, and remember, it's a privilege to have the health and ability to even do so. Everything you do, I've done harder to myself, I promise. And I'm right here with you and not missing meals, workouts, or cardio. Your competitive window doesn't last long, so make sure you're checking all the boxes every day. I read that, and I immediately was like, yes. I had to share it because I feel like a lot of people kind of miss that. And when you're in your bodybuilding, you're not thinking about the fact it's going to end. And I don't want to continue bodybuilding. I'm perfectly fine with it being over. But I definitely look back and realize how good it was, and I never really realized it. And so when I hear people complain about doing the things you have to do to bodybuild, it baffles my brain. Because I'm like, did you not know what you were signing up for?
Right.
Like when I see, and I'll see like, you know, people that are pretty good, like, oh, I can't wait for this to be over. I'm hungry. And I'm like, well, then quit. Like, what are you waiting for? No one's making you do this.
Right.
It just immediately drives me batshit. So I kind of wanted to get your guys' take on that because I just love what he said at the very end about your competitive window doesn't last long. And I wonder how many people, if they really love this, will realize that they didn't soak it up while they were in it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, you remember when you guys were competing and like the diet's brutal and you can literally feel which muscles are responsible for lifting your foot off the ground because you're so exhausted. And I used to just always think, this is awesome. Like, I feel like shit. But like, this is self-chosen, and for some twisted reason, I love it.
I remember a funny conversation I had with myself one time. I had this one prep. I don't know what year it would have been. Like, I guess it would have been like 06, 07, maybe. And I was living in my townhouse, and I was doing my nighttime cardio, which was a walk around, kind of around the complex I lived in. I had a townhouse. So it was like this kind of giant 35-minute city block walk I would do. And it was like midnight, and I was going to go for my walk. Because I used to do half my cardio at really late. And I was just sitting on the bench, just trying to get enough energy to put my, to like leave, to go out the door. Like, I got my headphones on, I got my hood up, I got my hoodie on, I'm ready to go. And I just couldn't get out the door. And I sat there and listened to like probably half an album just to get enough gas to like, I just got to put one foot in front of the other. And just, if I just do that for 35 minutes, I'll be back at this front door, and then I can eat, and then I can go to bed. It's going to be amazing. And it was just all I could do to get up off that bench and get going. And it was like, you know, the big deal. And I remember that cardio specifically because when I got back from the cardio, I was in an obscenely good mood, and I was like wide awake. And I remember sitting there eating my egg whites, because I used to have egg whites before bed. And I remember thinking like, oh, I've really got to remember how rewarded I feel for doing the work I didn't want to do. I've really got to take a moment. This is going to last the rest of my life. Like, this is not just this day for cardio. And I can't be mistaken to think that this is just part of prep. This is like a life lesson. Like, I didn't want to do this. It was so hard to do. And then I did it, and now I feel amazing. And, you know, I'm not taking a dopamine at that point, but that's, you know, what's going on. You change your brain chemistry through exercise, you know. But I just remember the feeling like I have to remember how rewarding it was to be disciplined. This is another example of how rewarding it is to check the boxes and how rewarding it is to stick to the plan. And this doesn't just apply to bodybuilding. This is going to be for everything.
Yep.
And I've got to make sure I remember that. Like, I remember being aware of it that night, that, you know, because some people, I don't think they map their prep lessons onto their life.
Right.
There's people out there, we all know them. They're great bodybuilders, and their life is a complete disaster.
Mm-hmm.
And how can this be structured and regimented and routined, and then this is not? I don't understand the lack of carryover.
Yeah.
And I think that they've got to, like, manually transfer those habits, because it's important, you know?
Yep. I agree. 1,000,000%.
Okay. Was that a good show?
I think it was. I was here
Scott's
for
like, Scott's not sure we're done. Are we done, Scott? That look on your face, you're like, we got one more thing.
I didn't hear from you, Dusty, and I had one too about you know, the whole topic about
Fire yours.
it.
I mean, mine was really just his. I thought that Cade covered a ton of it. So do your deal, Scott.
I would say that I
forgot we didn't finish.
I'm with you guys 100% on that. That you know, I feel that early on, especially, instead of appreciating where we're at, we learn every time you get on stage, you learn a ton of lessons, and those lessons are shown to you in the way that you come off the stage and you say, oh, I should have done this and I should have done that. And you learn all the, especially like the first time you get on stage. The first time you get on stage, you learn like 1,000 lessons all in 1 minute. And then you come off stage and you know what it's like now. Now you've done it. So you're like, oh, next time I go up on stage, I'm going to do this. Or I know that I'm not going to be able to see the audience because the lights are too
That was
bright.
a big one for me.
Yeah, you know these things. You know how long you have to pump up. Oh, I should have brought my bands with me over side stage because it really took 10 minutes. I could have kept pumping up. And you know what? I really could have gone for some water, but my water was all the way back at my bag. You know, you just those little tiny things. Or maybe you recognize I shouldn't have drank that water this morning, or I should have drank that water this morning, or, you know, what, all of those things. And then we instantly get off stage and we don't celebrate that win, no matter where we place, the win being that you actually completed that, you know, a prep. There are a lot of people who try to prep and they don't make it to the stage. You've actually completed that, and our brain automatically goes to, okay, well, next time I'm going to be better. Next time, because I know this now and I know that now. Next time I'm going to do this, this, and this, and I got to train my legs to come up. Judges said my legs need to come up. So we're automatically going to the next thing instead of stopping and appreciating it. And I know that I was definitely, I did that especially early on. But thankfully, I kind of figured it out. And I think as you get more mature into it, and you know what, too, once you figure that out, the prep becomes a lot easier. I don't mean that you're not hungry. I don't mean that your legs don't feel as heavy. But what I mean is that you're like more content with it. I would tell myself, it sounds kind of weird, maybe, but I would think to myself, how many people are in the shape I am right now? How many people will ever be at this level of conditioning? I'm not going to be the biggest guy. I'm doing a state level show, but I bet you that in the state of Michigan right now, out of everybody here, how many people? 100, 200 people? Like, this is a very rare and unique experience that very few people will ever in their lives have that opportunity to have. Like, really enjoy that, because no matter what, bodybuilding is the opposite of photography, which was my passion before that. With photography, your whole goal is to like take a moment and freeze it in time and hold it forever. You can't hold bodybuilding forever. You can take a picture of it, but the body is constantly changing. Your best look is going to be different in an hour from now. So and you just have to accept that, and you just have to, you know, appreciate it for while you have it, and accept that it's going to change. So yeah, I just, that is something that resonates with me too. I think that it takes time for us to get to, you know, what he had said in that post. You know, we have to kind of go through some of that stuff before we start realizing that the real joy is now.
Yeah, I just feel like the part that hit with me that I hope people would get is just, this is a choice. So I don't understand. Like, I really struggle like, if someone, when I decided as a kid I was going to save X percentage of my money for other things down the line, I would never look at my account with only 80% of the money and I go, this sucks. because it was a choice, and that's how I look at bodybuilding. It's like if you make the choice to do a show and you're not enjoying it, then I really think you should stop immediately. Like, I refuse to eat meals that don't taste good if I go out to dinner. If I order the meal and it tastes like shit, I'm not going to force myself to eat it because I paid for it. It's the same with bodybuilding. Like, if you're not enjoying it, bounce.
I actually do that.
Yeah, I could see that. And then
I kind of would too.
You guys probably both watch movies that suck all the way to the end too.
It's gonna get good. I bet they have a twist in store for us.
But that's how I look at the bodybuilding. I'm like, I just genuinely don't understand, because no one says to you when you start a prep, this is going to be so much fun. You're not going to suffer. You're not going to be hungry. You're not going to miss any foods. You're going to love doing cardio. The whole not being able to sleep thing, it's no big deal.
Yeah.
No one says that. So I'm like, you kind of had the answers before it started. You didn't realize how hard it was going to be.
You can't.
But I don't know. Just there's something about, like Ron, you said, every day that it was really bad, I remember thinking to myself, the other guy might stop right now. And that was all I needed. I was like, cool. That's all I want. I would just remind myself, you know, you're starting to gas out on the hack squat and you're, 4 weeks out. You're like, no one spotting me right now knows there's anything left.
Right.
I do.
Yeah.
One more. You know what I mean? So you'll never regret getting done with a show and have giving it everything. Yeah. And I can happily say that there's not a single show I ever did that I could look back and go, I could have done better. So no matter where I placed, I was like, it doesn't matter. Couldn't possibly have done better. If I get dead last, fine. If I win, fine. And I think that's why, and Ron knows this because he came to my room before one of my best looks in Vancouver the first year I did it. He's like, you excited? I'm like, no, I don't really care.
I remember you that morning. You were just like...
I already achieved what I wanted. I was like, I'm good.
I remember that show, and it was like interesting because I totally got it. I mean, I was, what year was that, Dusty? Your last show in Toronto?
That wasn't my last one. It was the first one in Vancouver. I can't remember. Maybe 16.
2016.
Sure.
It would have been the second one in Vancouver, 2016.
Yeah.
So I remember, I had my pro card, so I got it. I understood what he was doing, what level he was at. And I went to his room, and he was just like the calmest, most casual. Like, I was always pretty good the day of the show, but Dusty was just like completely next level. Like, I think we were like 25 minutes from stage and we were still in his room. And I was like, we should probably go downstairs. And he's like, we don't go on till, noon. And I'm like, it's like 11:37. And he's like, let's go down. And like, we walk down and he's eating a Pop-Tart on the way down. He's like, I should probably have a Pop-Tart. And like, just chilling out. And yeah, it was the way it should be, It's the way you see videos of the top guys backstage. Remember the old Battle for the Olympia videos? You see still clips of them backstage, and sometimes you see like Dexter laughing with Jay and stuff, and you're like, oh, they're just like chilling out.
Yep.
And it shouldn't be a big fucking stress situation at that point.
It's already over at that point. That's how I always looked at it. I'm like, it is what it is,
Yeah.
It's like, we'll see. It'll all break out. But I thought that was good. So Kate, if you happen to see this, love that, and I hope it inspired your clients because I shared that to quite a few. So
Kate's a great bodybuilder too. Freaky guy,
dude. He was huge.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, looks like that's good.
That'll do it.
Okay. Thanks, gentlemen. Remember, like, share, subscribe, comment, and
ring the bell.
And remember, IamMutant.com. Get your ISO surge. Get your hardcore ISO, now we call it. Get your Mind FK. Get your big greens.
Yes.
And everyone should get on the gear. Okay. Remember, Big Ron and Dusty are your codes. IamMutant.com. Great show, guys. Thank you.
Love it.
Looking forward to the next one. And remember, it's just bodybuilding.